Hello, Blitz fans of all ages. It's me, Plumcastle, here going over everything you need to know about the Sheridan Missile, what makes it unique, what are its characteristics, where does it come from, and how you would ever be able to get this thing. Now, of course, it says in the name, the thing that makes this unique is the fact that it has missiles. So this is a very unique play feature and albeit a very overpowered one. Now you're going to see here, as soon as I reload, I'm actually going to shoot a missile, and I'll actually be showing a few missiles here. And now let's talk about how to play it. Of course, with this missile technique, you can actually play very sneaky. You can now just get damage out onto enemies without ever actually exposing yourself too much, which is what makes this so overpowered. You can see here I'm able to just poke over the ridge and down go my shells into the enemies, and they literally can do nothing about it. And in fact, there are times when none of my tank is exposed. I could be completely hidden behind something and being able to dunk shells over the top of a ridge, as you can see here. This is especially easy on, well, it's not never easy, but it's easier on PC than mobile in my opinion, just because you do have that nice right click button to allow for the cursor to go up, but that's another topic for another time. Now, let's talk about the overall gameplay here. So it's a very mobile tank. It doesn't have a lot of armor, however, it does have a ton of spaced armor. So the thing that makes it nice is that even though it's a light tank, a fast tank, and it has a high alpha, it's really hard to HE anywhere except for the back of the turret because everything is literally spaced armor. Now let's talk about where did this tank come from, because this tank is of course very unique and it actually started out in the tech tree. Now, this wasn't in the tech tree. There was originally the T-92E1 and the Sheridan, which were in the tech tree. Both of them had missiles. One was a tier 9, one was a tier 10, and they still exist within the tech tree. However, this replaced the missiles, so both the T-92E1 and the Sheridan no longer carry missiles for normal modes. So now it is just the Sheridan missile, which is a collector variant, and it can only be played in training rooms as well. It can only be played in fun modes, as you can see here. This is realistic. It took a while to get these replays, but I do like how they turned out. But anyway, back to what I was saying. It's a very fast tank, but it was something that you could only get twice, so it's only been available twice so far, and one of them was during update 7.5 when they actually removed the missiles from the original tech tree tanks. They then made it so that if you had researched or bought the Sheridan tier 10, you would get the Sheridan missile in return, because what had happened is that it was a very divided topic on the missiles. As I stated, they were extremely overpowered, and about 50% of players hated the Sheridan, or rather hated the missile aspect of it, and the other 50 absolutely loved them. Now, I was on the side that really leaned towards missiles. I thought they were really cool. They were, however, overpowered because you could just dunk them over the top of the hill. So Wargaming decided to listen to the majority in this case, and they decided to remove the missiles, which, as I forestated, but because there was such a large amount of people that still really enjoyed and really loved missiles, what they did is they added this tank to be played in fun modes only. Now, again, it came in during update 7.5, I believe it was, and this tank came in. If you had it, the tier 10 researched or bought, I don't remember what it was, you would get this completely for free. In fact, they were wanting you to keep this tank so much because people do enjoy it so much that you can only, if you have it, you can only trade it in for like 5 gold, I think it is. It's a very bad exchange rate, so you would really want to keep the Sheridan in your garage, but of course you can't play it in normal modes, which is the downside. Now, the other time that you could have gotten it was during an event. Oh, I don't know, it may have been like 6 months ago or something like that. It was a long time ago, but you could actually win games and get these, I don't know, cases, or I don't remember what the currency was, but you win and you get currencies, and it was a very, very difficult and hard event. However, if you were diligent and ground, you could actually get the Sheridan missile, again, completely for free. But the question now lies, when will this tank come back out? And of course, I am not a developer. I have no clue what Wargaming has planned. I don't even know if they will ever bring the Sheridan Missile back in. I would not be surprised if they didn't, but also I would not be surprised if they did. Now, the rest of this replay here, I want to show just how good platooning in this thing can be, because it's quite, I mean, one of these is already downright OP. Add a second one, especially if the second one's taunter, as is in this case, and it's really crazy. Now, the tank has a little bit of a weird RNG thing, at least for me, maybe different for you, but I had to have a friend recommend to get the special equipment, and that does definitely help. My equipment, I do run everything to decrease the dispersion, and as well, I believe I have the penetration boost, and all of this was recommended to me by USA is one. Thank you there for the recommendation. So this game here is looking like a win for us, but it's going to be very interesting because towards the end, it's going to be very close because our team does start to die. Now, the penetration values aren't absolutely terrible. I think they feel worse than they probably are, especially since I'm not new to tier 10, but with the Sheridan, I have not driven it a whole lot, so knowing where to penetrate when I can't see the armor is a little bit weird. So it does feel like it has low penetration, but looking at the values, they don't seem terrible. Just note that occasionally a shot will bounce. Of course, it doesn't have the greatest accuracy. It's not a laser beam by any means. It's essentially a tier 10 T49, so it's going to be a little bit weird. It does have that spaced armor, as I said. You can see here, I don't quite penetrate that somehow, though that's right where that HE should have gone. But when it's platooned, it becomes an absolute nightmare for the enemies. Now, of course, thankfully the missiles are no longer in normal mode, so this cannot happen to you in normal mode, only fun modes. But you can see here, I'm mostly going to distract this IS-4 because I, for the life of me, could not figure out where to penetrate the guy. However, Taunter is going to be able to, while he's behind hills, dunk missiles over the top. As you're about to see, he's going to shoot one. In fact, he shoots 2 or 3, and you can see there goes one. And you can see how this is so overpowered. The maneuverability with me here, and I can just I can take a few shots and I can just absolutely annoy the IS-4. Meanwhile, Taunter 1 is getting shells into him and starting to clear him out. Now here comes the maneuverability. I just pull around. Taunter 1 is safe and sound. He does not have to worry about getting hurt, and I can just swing around, get a nice shot into the side. So that is the Sheridan Missile in a nutshell. And so with that, I hope you all enjoyed, and as always, have fun, good luck, and happy tanking.